Okay, so we're now on to formations. And this has been left at the end of my game model on purpose. Okay, so structural formation, the formation that your team are going to play in. And there's a statement here. The structural formation must not dictate your game model. Let me say that again. The structural formation must not dictate your game model. Okay, that means you don't start with, we're going to play goalkeeper 4-3-3 and then work out how. Okay, you don't say we're going to play goalkeeper 4-4-2 or 4-5-1 or whatever formation it is and then work out how you're going to play that formation. You work out your game model, your principles of playing, and then you add the formation. Structural formations must support your game model. Okay, and different formations be more appropriate for different ways of playing. So formations that provide multiple horizontal and vertical lines. Okay, this will be clear in a second, but multiple horizontal and vertical lines are best suited to my game model. Okay, so that would be formations like a 1-4-3-3, a 1-3-4-3, and 1-4-1-4-1. Okay, the one at the start is always for the goalkeeper. Sometimes they're forgotten when people talk about 4-3-3. They are in the team, so I always try and start it with a 1. But if you can see from the lines that are drawn between the various players on the pitch here, now clearly these are just starting formations, but you'll see there are going to be more options, more angles, more vertical and horizontal lines for teams to be able to create passing opportunities. This means that we can create units that retain the ball in different parts of the pitch. I'm not going to go into this lots now because, again, it's a lot of detail. We're running out of time. It's something that we certainly cover in the course. But just to make the point clear, different game models are best supported by different structural formations. So a 1-4-5-1, as shown in the diagram here, supports principles or a game model of less possession, of denying opportunities for the other team to score, and in scoring with quick counterattacks. Okay, on the formation that you've got here, we're not giving space near our goal. We're not letting the team have an opportunity to score near our goal. We're not even going to let the ball get near the assist zones. Okay, then we're going to look to use that as a foundation to attack further up the pitch. That's a perfectly good game model. But the formation, the 4-5-1, supports the game model. You don't go, we're going to play 4-5-1 and then work out what your game model is. Because if they don't align, if the principles of your game model and your structural formation don't align, there's going to be less chance for you to be successful. Okay, so we just talked about this a bit. How do you use a game model for youth teams? Like I said, this is a big part of our course. We'll just briefly touch on it now. Okay, so questions that we might ask is how do we want to play? And therefore we have our game model. And this is applicable for youth as well. I always think you should start with the end game model of how you want your players to develop and then work backwards. You think about the 4 phases of play that we've talked about. So what does this look like? So that means I have a principle. Why have we got that principle? What does it look like and how do we do it? Again, I know there's a lot of information here. I'm going through it quite quickly, but these slides will be available for you. And then you've got to think to yourself, okay, if I'm looking to play this particular way, by the time I've got adult players, I've got developed players, what does that look like in foundation? What's the core foundation that I'm trying to deliver these players from a tactical understanding? So I have 2 tactical principles for the teams when I coach 5-6-year-olds. One is, the first principle I say to all 5-year-olds is they have to remember this phrase. The phrase is, the ball is king. Okay, the ball is king. You can call it queen if you want, but the ball is king in my eyes. Okay, therefore, we want the ball, because if we've got the ball, we can score. If we've got the ball, they can't score. And that is it. That is the only tactical information I give to my 5-year-olds. And so therefore I say, if we've got the ball, we keep it. And if we haven't got it, we're going to get it as quickly as we can. So now I'm teaching possession. And then I need to teach them how to move off the ball, how to use the technique to receive and pass that ball. I need to teach them the technique to protect the ball, their physicality. And then when we haven't got it, I need to teach them to press. I need to teach them to close down the opposition and to teach them to the technique of blocking or the technique of getting their body in between the other player and the ball to try and win it back. All of that is relevant to my game model for adults, but I've worked it backwards. So again, there's a huge amount of information there. We're not going to talk about all of those now, but it's sort of a way of displaying what I've just been saying, which is there's got to be long-term player development, long-term team development. That comes into your tactical periodization, and there's macro, meso, micro cycles, then your training sessions, then your tactics and formations for one-off games. And isn't football wonderful? Because there's so much for us to think about and so much for us to discuss and to learn. And I'm, like I said right at the start, I'm no expert. I'm still learning. I still do as much learning as I possibly can. And again, as I've already mentioned, all of those different areas of coaching, how and what do we coach, holistic development for our players and our teams, right from when they start kicking the football up until they're hopefully in the adult game still enjoying it.